Disclaimer, no generative AI was used in the production of this video. This is pure 100% human passion and love for the stupid Blue Hedgehog series and all of its strange, eccentricities. That being said, my name is Nikki Chaotix, and welcome to... According to the earliest Sonic Bible, Sonic was originally proposed to be a normal brown hedgehog named Sunny, who lived in Hardy, Nebraska with his mom and 5 sisters. Charmy Bee did not, in fact, debut in Knuckles Chaotix. Rather, he first showed up in the Shigakukan manga as a friend of Sonic. A Sonic Runners Halloween update mistakenly referred to Boo as Boob. There were originally supposed to only be 3 Starfall Islands. However, Aranos Island was split up into 3 pieces, Kronos, Aranos, and Rhea. Strangely, despite their different names, Rhea Island is just this northern half of Kronos. At the time of recording this video, every time Sage has been a major character in a piece of Sonic media, she has come face to face with death, actually dying in Sonic Frontiers, being violently eliminated in Crossworlds race, and nearly being deleted from existence in IDW. It is unknown what her freaking deal is. Tails is a gambler and cheater who has been banned from Casino Park for counting cards. Reminder that his last confirmed age was 8.
I'm banned from this place for counting cards!
According to Arthurian lore and applying it to Sonic and the Black Knight, Jet and Blaze are siblings. Silver is their cousin. Amy is the adoptive mother of Shadow and grandmother of Silver. Knuckles is an enemy of Jet as well as being the nephew of King Arthur. If you cannot collect all Chaos Emeralds in the 8-bit version of Sonic 2, Sonic will not rescue Tails and will solemnly stare up at the sky, seeing the Fox Kit in the stars. Did Tails die? Holy crap, dude! The Bio-Lizard's birthday is shown here in Sonic Adventure 2 to be January 27th, the day I'm writing down this fact. Happy birthday, Lizzie! The Sonic Frontiers launch trailer uses the song Don't Stop Me Now by Queen. Despite the lyrics, Sonic was not in fact having a good time in this game. Like, at all. It took exactly 1,178 days for a hacker to break the anti-piracy on Sonic Frontiers. If you wanted to play it, here's your chance. The in-dev name of the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog was Choo Choo Boo Boo. A few names you cannot use in the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog for your character are Amy, Cream, and Among Us. My 4th favorite Sonic character is Surge the Tenrak. Rouge the Bat's original name was Shadow, while Shadow's name was Terios. Tails and Knuckles both have unique memory token designs in Sonic Frontiers. However, Sage and Amy share a pink heart as their tokens. There is seemingly no reason for this. Sonic Racing Crossworlds displays billboard ads for tours of Kronos and Chaos Island. Ares and Aranos are seemingly absent. In the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic dresses up in drag and marries Eggman. It is unknown if they divorced. The previously mentioned instance also isn't even the only time Sonic does drag. This is because the show was inspired by Looney Tunes, and Sonic himself was supposed to be similar to Bugs Bunny. While we're on this subject, the character Eve from the Archie comics contains the DNA of both Eggman and Sonic, making her, technically, if you turn your head to the side, back up 10 feet and squint, their daughter. Wonder what that custody agreement would look like. In issue 3 of the Sonic Forces digital comic, Rouge's office setup shows pictures of Sally and Bunny from the Archie series, as well as this weird vector ornament decoration doll thingy. Okay. In December 2025, Evan Stanley would reveal that Sonic Frontiers is set sometime before IDW 68. In a one-up interview, it was revealed Shadow the Hedgehog enjoys Snickers, Doritos, and Hot Pockets. However, according to Shadow Generations, on the Ark, apparently he mostly just drank coffee. In the same one-up interview, he was said to own a PSP, Nintendo DS, iPod, and Razr phone. Dude's kinda decked out, I can't lie. Prima's official strategy guide for Sonic 06 says Rouge has feelings for both Shadow and Knuckles. Why? Game Informer number 188 called Miles Prower the 6th worst video game character name. Tails also is apparently not a citizen of anywhere and was not born anywhere, according to these wanted signs in Sonic Adventure 2. The English Sonic Heroes Manual describes Eggman as a feminist. This line is not present in Japanese. Eggman is a doctor of engineering. Unfortunately, not a doctor of women's studies. Sage Robotnik does various forms of arts and crafts, including building snowmen, designing t-shirts, and knitting. Sonic was once pitched to have a human girlfriend named Madonna. Knuckles apparently does not remember the events of Chaotix. Vector the crocodile weighs exactly 440 pounds. Of, like, pure muscle. Dude. If you play Sonic Shuffle on Christmas, Knights will replace Lumina on the game board. In Shadow the Hedgehog, if you look closely here, you can see Shadow is actually saying, "What the hell was that all about?" The ending theme of Sonic's story in Sonic 06 actually features Akon, yes, Akon, on the backing vocals. What? Ian Flynn's podcast, The Bumblecast, has 2 full episodes interviewing Dr. Starline from the IDW comics. Starline's voice is provided by Ian Flynn himself. The episodes include a full musical number and sputtering denials that Starline is, perhaps, too big of an Eggman fan. Rouge has stated she has a mother. Said mother has never been seen. Eggman's blood type is B. In theory, he could give a blood donation to Ulala of Space Channel 5, as she is also blood type B. Sage seems to be one big reference to the Dreamcast, having a red/blue swirl in her white hair, her main color palette being blue and white like the Sega logo, and her name being an anagram of Sega. Vector the crocodile, despite not being able to afford to pay his rent, owns a helicopter. He does not have a pilot's license. Similarly, Sonic Boom's version of Tails also apparently lacks his pilot license. Nights into Dreams is actually referenced in the first Sonic movie. When Sonic watches the baseball game in Green Hill, the visiting team's name is Spring Valley. Green Hill is obviously the first stage of the first Sonic game, and Spring Valley is the first stage of Nights into Dreams. Nights is referenced again in Sonic 3 alongside Amigo from Samba de Amigo. This scene in the Chow Garden. Notably, the lead Chow also resembles Cheese. The Chow in this scene sing I Want You Back by the Jackson 5 in Japanese. The Jackson 5 was the original group of Michael Jackson who was involved in the soundtrack of Sonic 3, the game. Jet the Hawk is a pile of puns. He is most obviously a reference to Tony Hawk being a skater and all, but he also has a mohawk. A Tony Hawk-inspired hawk with a mohawk! Dude! Sonic describes his time being held hostage and tortured during Forces as a yawn fest. Amy was mistakenly named Princess Sally in the North American version of Sonic CD, despite looking nothing like Sally. Dr. Starline's tail resembles Knuckles' tail much more than a real platypus. This is apparently a nod to echidnas and platypodes being cousins. In Sonic Generations, fighting Shadow will actually reward you with that damn fourth Chaos Emerald. Eggman has over 10 terabytes of selfies in his computer according to Sonic Forces. The end appears to people as what they believe death itself to look like. Sonic Team chose to present it as the moon, as it's been used as a symbol of death in many cultures. Tails Tube shows that Tails' computer runs on Chow OS, which looks a lot like Mac OS. It's probably some kind of Linux, though. He has Arch user vibes to me. In the credits of Knuckles Chaotix, Sonic's legs are tan. Ew. Ugh. Ugh. Oh, God. Moving on. Despite Takashi Iizuka saying that the Sonic Heroes depictions of the Chaotix are basically new characters, the Chaotix Case Files series did, in fact, canonize Knuckles Chaotix. It's possible that Don and Knight have played some role in the Chaotix team off-screen, as Don affectionately refers to the team as his boys, and they've babysat Charmy. Knight even allowed Charmy to help with their radio broadcast. Dreams of an Absolution interpolates the melody of Green Hill Zone in this part right here.
And I might know about the future, but then you still control the past. And I might know about the future, but then you still control the past.
Bentley Jones was apparently not aware of this until fans pointed it out to them, but I think it's neat. Kind of nods to Silver's time traveling and how Green Hill is a constant of the Sonic franchise. Whether it's in the future or the past, it'll always be there in some way. Orbot is a fan of cyber singer Mika, a reference to Hatsune Miku. The Sonic Generations character bios describe Rouge as seductive. Sonic Forces was supposed to refer to classic Sonic as Alt Sonic. The first Sonic movie was slated for a November 8, 2019 release. 3 years later, in 2022, this release date would be reused for Sonic Frontiers. Some claim that the name Mobius is used for Sonic's planet in the films. However, this name only actually appears in the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 novelization. Fletch the Opossum is apparently older than Eggman, according to Evan Stanley. Mimic the Octopus is 32 years old. Autism has inexplicably been linked to higher levels of the SHH, or Sonic Hedgehog, protein. Thanks, Sonic, for your autism today. In a prototype build of Sonic R, if Sonic comes in last place, he'll break down crying. Espio is lactose intolerant. In the Sonic Boom Fire and Ice level Gothic Gardens, the Black Arms logo can be seen on banners placed throughout the level. They are flipped backwards, but regardless, they're there. Black Doom also bears a strong resemblance to Wiseman the Wicked from Nights into Dreams. Shadow himself physically resembles Riala, but most mimics Knights in his rebellious story arc. This hexadecimal code in Sonic Colors says, if you can read this, you're a geek. Gee, thanks. Tails also claims this is binary text when it's just not. Sonic's 1.21 gigawatts line is a reference to Back to the Future. Christopher Lloyd, who played Doc Brown in Back to the Future, also voiced Knuckles' father in the Knuckles series. If you grew up watching PBS Kids like I did, you may also recognize him as the voice of the hacker in Cyberchase. That one's not really a Sonic-related fact, I just think it's cool. Agent Stone was originally meant to be nothing more than a background lackey who only appeared in a couple scenes. But Jim Carrey wanted someone to talk to, so he asked for the character to be implemented in more Robotnik-only scenes. Can we get a thank you, Jim Carrey, from my fellow Stone fans? Ulala of Space Channel 5 has her own extreme gear called the Channel 5, as she appeared in Sonic Riders. This is my official plea to have her added into Crossworlds. I will do anything. There is a scrapped Sonic character named Tiara Bubowski. You did not mishear me. Tiara Bubowski. Professor Victoria is the first human to be introduced since Sonic Unleashed. If Maria had survived the Ark, she would now be older than Eggman. One of Sonic's first English voices came from Sega Sonic Cosmo Fighter, where he sounded like this.
Hi, my name is Sonic.
Both Sonic Heroes and Sonic Riders got original PC ports. This is well known, but what isn't as recognized is that the PC edition of Heroes actually came with a bunch of fun bonuses, such as wallpapers and pixel sprite cursors of the game's cast that could be optionally equipped and used system-wide. Amy's Sonic Prime voice actress, Shannon Chan Kent, actually appeared earlier in the Sonic franchise as the Roadhouse waitress in the first Sonic movie when Tom and Sonic are on their road trip. Speaking of Sonic movies, Nickelodeon actually censors the movie, cutting usage of the words hell and drunk and cutting out Tom's mention of drug dealers. Holy crap and
Piece of shiitake planet!
would be censored in the second film, along with Sonic's mention of a Mai Tai. Elise shares an actress with Gretchen Wieners of Mean Girls. I don't think my father, the Duke of Soliana, would be too pleased to hear about this. And finally, in the Offspring song, Pretty Fly for a White Guy, the female vocals heard here are actually provided by Nika Futterman, who would go on to voice Styx in Sonic Boom years later. Thank you for watching this video all the way to the end. If you like it, please like and subscribe. I may do more of these random useless info videos as I have a lot more facts to go over. but I wanted to start with something simple for my first big video on this channel. I'm Nikki Chaotix, and you are awesome. Bye!